We can unravel this farther because it's true that I wasn't attracted to you when we got married.
You know, it was hard. It was hard.
It wasn't polygamy that tore them apart. It was the silence, the secrets, and the court order that none of them saw coming. In a courtroom dripping with betrayal, the sister wives are forced to testify against one another, and yet one name is glaringly absent from the witness stand: Kody Brown. If you think you know how this story ends, you don't. Because someone is about to flip, and when they do, everything comes crashing down. Comment below, who do you think will betray the family first? Let's see who guesses correctly. It began on what should have been an ordinary, quiet Sunday in Flagstaff. Coffee brewed in Christine's kitchen. Robyn busied herself with the children. Janelle tended to her sourdough starter. Meri, as always, walked alone. Then all at once, the peace shattered. 4 doors, 4 simultaneous knocks, certified mail, 4 identical white envelopes delivered into 4 different lives, each one a fuse waiting to ignite. Inside, a summons from the Arizona Superior Court. No plaintiff listed, no criminal accusation. Only a chilling title stamped at the top: family-based civil action, internal complaint. And most haunting of all, Kody's name was nowhere to be found. Not as a witness, not as a defendant, not even mentioned. That was the first red flag, and it sent shockwaves through each of them. Christine didn't speak a word. She folded the paper carefully, rose silently, and began packing a bag. Janelle rushed to Robyn's house demanding answers, but Robyn clutched her children and cried, claiming she knew nothing. Meri's reaction was stranger, a smile too controlled, the kind that conceals more than it reveals. By Monday morning, the sister wives sat scattered across the courtroom, no longer united, no longer a family. Each had her own lawyer, each fighting for survival. Then came Judge Celeste Harmon, stone-faced, no-nonsense, an ex-federal litigator, known for dismantling guilty defendants. The sterile courtroom felt like the eye of a storm, thick with tension and dread. "This case is unusual," Judge Harmon announced, her piercing gaze shifting from wife to wife. "The plaintiff is sealed for now, but the evidence will reveal them. And it may implicate more than one of you." Robyn's lip trembled. Christine crossed her arms tight. Janelle muttered under her breath. Meri sat cold and unreadable. Then the twist. A monitor was wheeled in, a small gray speaker placed on the table. "We'll begin with an audio file," the judge declared, submitted anonymously, forensically authenticated. The room froze. Every breath felt too loud. Robyn leapt up, panic in her voice. "Your Honor, this can't be legal." "Sit down," Judge Harmon cut her off sharply. "You'll want to hear this." The static crackled, and then came a voice that chilled the room. Kody's voice. Calm, smooth, cold. "If Christine flips, we'll invoke the asset clause. Robyn and I need to stay protected. Janelle won't risk her kids. And Meri, she owes us. She won't defy the plan. But we need to move quickly." Robyn's face went pale as ash. Christine snapped her head toward her, eyes blazing. "What scheme?" she hissed. Janelle rose, trembling. "Robyn, what the hell is this?" Robyn sat silent, paralyzed. The recording rolled on. Kody's voice, colder than before. "If we quietly retitle the properties, we can lock them out. And if anyone sues, we'll release Meri's messages. That'll shut her down real quick." Gasps ripped through the courtroom. Meri's lawyer bent down, whispering urgently, but Meri didn't flinch, didn't blink. Christine shook violently, not with fear, but with rage. "He said he loved us," she whispered, her voice cracking. "He made us believe in him." That audio was never meant for the world to hear, but now it echoed like gunfire across the courtroom. Judge Harmon paused the recording, her tone grave. "We'll continue this tomorrow. This is now more than a civil inquiry." Robyn staggered to her feet, tears streaming. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." Christine brushed past her with a glare sharper than any blade. "You didn't say it, but you helped him do it." Janelle slammed her binder shut. "I won't go down for this. Not for either of you." The tension was a living thing, heavy and suffocating. The judge raised her hand for silence. Before recess, one of you will remain for sealed testimony, alone. Her eyes locked on Christine. Christine Brown, you'll stay. Christine stiffened as the others filed out. Alone, beneath the crushing weight of secrets, she faced the judge. You've been quiet so far, Judge Harmon said, but I suspect that's about to change. And when Christine finally spoke, her words promised to dismantle everything the Brown family was built on. Janelle's voice cut through the silence like a blade. We just discovered Kody bought property, a cabin outside Sedona, using money he claimed was for family vacations. That cabin isn't in the trust. It isn't even in his name. It's in Robyn's sister's name. The courtroom erupted in gasps. Judge Harmon snapped at the clerk. Real estate records? Everything tied to the Browns or Robyn's family now. Christine's fury erupted. You didn't just cut us out, Robyn. You tried to erase us. Robyn broke down, sobbing. It wasn't my idea. Janelle's rage burned hot. But you allowed it. Robyn collapsed into her chair, incoherent as her lawyer scrambled to contain her. Judge Harmon raised the damning contract. This 72-hour asset lockdown clause proves intent. This isn't an accident. This is a calculated scheme. As of now, we are moving into formal criminal review. The gavel hit. All bank accounts frozen, effective immediately. Robyn's face drained of color. No, my kids, my house. Consult your attorney, the judge replied icily. And maybe get one for yourself, Mrs. Brown. Janelle's fists trembled. We didn't want this. We wanted the truth. But you left us no choice. Christine growled across the room. He made you believe you were special. All he did was use you to kill us faster. The air was suffocating when suddenly the clerk delivered a sealed envelope marked urgent. Judge Harmon ripped it open, her expression darkening. This is a sworn affidavit from an insider close to Kody Brown. Christine's stomach dropped. An insider? Yes, the judge replied. It describes a second deal, Contingency G. Every eye locked on her. If Christine or Janelle exposed him, Kody would fake a medical crisis, flee to another state, and vanish from accountability, all while transferring Robyn's trust to an offshore proxy outside U.S. jurisdiction. Christine's mouth went dry. He planned to disappear. The judge nodded grimly. This isn't just a family dispute. This is federal. Homeland Security and the IRS are being notified. The room spun. Janelle whispered, He's already gone, isn't he? Judge Harmon barked an order. Locate Kody Brown. Approach only with backup. Before anyone could move, the courtroom doors flew open. A man in a dark suit flashed credentials. Judge Harmon, Agent Ree, Federal Financial Crimes. You need to see this. He held up a flash drive. Intercepted today. From Kody Brown. Subject line, Initiate Plan Z. The courtroom froze. Even Robyn's lips quivered. Plan Z? He was joking. Christine's voice cut cold. Kody never joked. He planted bombs with a smile. Agent Ree explained, The drive contains videos, legal scans, and flight reservations under Robyn's name. A private jet tonight. Destination unknown. Christine nearly collapsed. He's already leaving. Then came the final blow. The flight isn't booked for 2. It's booked for 3. Kody, Robyn, and a minor, Solomon. A chill ran through the courtroom, and then, like a ghost, a man no one had noticed stood up. Charcoal suit, no tie, a thin leather folder in his hand. His presence was unnerving, not watching, but waiting. He walked to the front without being called. His voice was calm, sharp. Madam Judge, Cole Mercer, licensed private investigator retained by an anonymous client. I've been tracing the Browns for 14 months. Today, I reveal what I found. The silence was suffocating. Judge Harmon gave a nod. Proceed. Cole opened his folder. Over $230,000 was siphoned from joint accounts into 3 names: Robyn Brown, her sister Aurora, and a shell company, Only Lighthouse Pathways, Inc. That shell was used to buy the Sedona cabin, pay off credit cards, and funnel monthly transfers, just under $10,000 to a Utah P.O. box account. Janelle gasped. That was our homeschool P.O. box. Cole's eyes hardened. It was repurposed. Without your consent. Robyn buried her face in her hands. Christine's jaw dropped. He used everything. Cole pressed on. Surveillance shows Kody visiting legal offices tied to international relocation and sovereign citizenship. He was preparing to vanish beyond federal jurisdiction. The judge's expression curdled. Cole tapped his folder. Encrypted telegram messages. Username Patriarch77. Phrases like Stage 3 fallback and Plan Z triggers if J or C go public. We verified them. Fingerprint authentication confirms the sender, Kody Brown. Robyn wailed. No, he wouldn't. Cole's gaze was ice. He already has. And you knew enough. Her tears fell, her denial breaking. Then Cole dropped the bombshell. There's a 90-day countdown. It began the day Christine left. It ends tomorrow. Gasps filled the room. Cole continued. His plan was to vanish with Robyn and their biological children, sever all ties, and frame Christine, Janelle, and Meri as unstable, abusive, and financially reckless. He even drafted Robyn's statements in advance. Christine's face was stone. He wanted to erase us. Cole clicked his laptop. Kody's voice filled the room. They'll never notice. They'll be so busy tearing each other apart. They'll thank me when I disappear. They'll call it closure. Robyn crumbled. Christine stood, trembling. Every word. He meant every word. And then Cole twisted the knife. I wasn't hired by Janelle, or Christine, or Meri. My client was Aurora Brown, Robyn's niece. She worked with Kody. She saw too much. She feared for her life. And she backed up everything. Robyn staggered, horrified. Aurora? No, she's just a child. Cole's tone was merciless. She was 23, old enough to know, and Kody marked her as expendable. The judge accepted the files for federal review. Then, slowly, her eyes turned to Robyn. You signed contracts. You co-controlled funds. Your accounts are frozen. As of now, you're no longer a witness. You're a person of interest. Robyn's body shook. He promised me. He promised it wouldn't come to this. But promises meant nothing now. As Christine and Janelle prepared to leave, Meri finally broke her silence. Her voice was sharp as glass. You've been watching us for a year, Mr. Mercer. Tell me. Did you see everything? Cole hesitated. Yes. Meri lowered her head. Then you already know what I did. The air turned heavy. Christine and Janelle froze. Meri's voice cracked. I need to confess before someone else exposes it. I didn't just know about the transfers. I signed one. Christine's voice thundered. You what? Meri sobbed. I thought it was for taxes, for protection. Kody told me if I didn't sign, we'd go to prison. I was terrified. I thought I was helping. Janelle's rage was fire. You helped him destroy us, Meri. Meri collapsed to her knees, broken. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Cole's voice cut through. She's telling the truth. There's footage of Kody instructing her. He used her, just as he used all of you. But the damage was done. Meri's shame came too late. The judge's gavel thundered. That's enough for today. Court adjourned. The fallout had begun, and no one would escape it. Tomorrow begins formal depositions. We're shifting from preliminary hearings to full-on criminal proceedings. Christine stared down Cole. What's next? His eyes looked exhausted. Then we find out who gets indicted. As the courtroom emptied, a new message arrived, not for the court, but for Meri. She opened it with shaking hands. One line. You were always the last to know. Don't be the last to run. She looked around for Kody, but he was still nowhere. That night, the Sedona cabin went up in flames, arson suspected. The footage showed a limping figure in a black hoodie, a child's toy clenched in his hand. Meri didn't sleep. She sat in the dark, watching the orange tongues of fire flicker on a snowy security feed. The toy, a stuffed dinosaur, matched one that sat on Solomon's bed. She knew. He was sending a message for speaking out. But Kody miscalculated. The woman he thought was meek had turned to steel in the dark. She had signed things she wished she could erase, and now she stood on the edge of guilt and truth. She had two choices: keep covering for him or light the match. This time, she brought the gasoline. Next day, Meri walked into court alone. No lawyer, no allies. Across the aisle, Christine and Janelle sat rigid, their eyes saying everything. Prove you're not one of them. The judge called the room to order. Before she could speak, Meri stood. Your Honor, I waive counsel for today. I'm ready to give sworn testimony about my role in the transfers and what followed. The room fell silent. Continue, the judge said. Meri inhaled. 16 months ago, Kody told me Christine was getting slippery, asking too many questions. We had to create distance, he said. He handed me papers, transfers, trusts, notices, and told me we had to move fast. If I signed, we'd be protected. I was scared. I signed. Twice. I thought it was taxes, a restructure after Flagstaff. Then, he told me to burn the copies. That's when I knew. Her voice steadied. I asked why Robyn's name was on everything. Why not mine and Janelle's? He said it was simpler. Fewer complications. If things went bad, the state would never recognize us. Just spiritual unions. Christine ground her jaw. Janelle stared at the floor. I knew it was wrong, Meri confessed. But I wanted to matter. I thought if I helped, he'd finally see me. The gallery exhaled in one painful wave. Meri wasn't just testifying against him. She was testifying against the version of herself that protected him. If anything surfaced, he told me to say I didn't know what I signed. I was deceived. And in some ways, that was true. But I knew enough, and I chose not to see it. She pulled a flash drive from her purse. Audio from October, Kody, Robyn, and me. He didn't realize my phone was on. He lays out emergency cash, how to play dumb under oath, how to keep me in line by leaking an old voicemail. He laughed. The judge took the drive. Why not bring this sooner? Because a part of me hoped. He'd come back, apologize, choose me. One sentence that echoed every woman who stayed too long hoping the hurt would stop. I would have been the villain if I had to, let them hate me. But after the fire, after the message, I knew he'd never stop until one of us was destroyed. Thank you, Mrs. Brown, the judge said. This goes to forensics now. Janelle stood. One question. Why didn't you warn us? Meri swallowed. Shame. And I didn't think I deserved your forgiveness. You don't, Christine said, voice tight. Not yet. But maybe this is a start. The judge recessed for an hour. On return, Cole Mercer would present new federal evidence. The room emptied, but Meri stayed. Another message. You were warned. She stared at it, then deleted it. Not out of fear, but because it no longer owned her. Outside, Cole waited. You did the right thing, he said. Too late, Meri replied. Not for everyone, he answered. We can still stop him. Stop him from what? Cole handed over a printed passport photo. New hair, fake name, Kody's face. One way to Honduras. He's likely leaving the country, but he needs two things: offshore access and one last signature from the original trust. Let me guess, Meri said. Me. You're the last link. Cole nodded. She laughed, bitter and bright. Of course I am. You're also the last person he expects to turn on. Him, Cole said. That's your leverage. Then let's use it, Meri answered, ice in her tone. The one they underestimate flips the whole game. That night, Meri met Christine and Janelle in an abandoned community center, a neutral ground with too many memories. She spread out copies of everything she had. I'm not asking for trust. I'm asking for a chance to repair what I broke. Janelle scanned the pages. This freezes his last accounts. Christine added, and blocks the flight. If we move now. Meri's hands trembled. Then let's move. Headlights cut across the windows. A black SUV. Federal agents. Time. They bagged the evidence, handed Meri a burner, and said, if he calls, keep him talking. We'll trace it. At 2:13 a.m. the phone rang. Kody, calm, casual. "Hey, we need to talk." "About what?" she asked, keeping her voice level. "About tidying this up?" he purred. "About us. We can walk away from this intact. I just need one more signature, then it's over." "Where do we meet?" she asked. He paused. "Same place as last time." "You remember?" "I remember. Give me an hour." The call ended. The trace locked. Agents nodded. Meri looked back at Christine and Janelle and said the words no one expected. "Let's go get him." The courtroom had already seen tears and lies. Session. 7 would be something else. A new player who knew the Browns from the inside out. Someone who had watched, recorded, and waited. Judge Harmon entered to a low hum of dread. Cole leaned in and spoke softly. The judge's gaze shifted to the gallery. "Today," she said, steel in her voice, "we hear from a protected witness." The doors opened. Robyn went pale before the woman's face even appeared. A long black coat, measured heels, the hush of a secret finally bursting. "Name for the record, please." The hood fell back. "My name is Belle Mathers," she said, chin lifted. "Former family assistant to Robyn Brown, friend turned informant." Robyn flinched like she'd been struck. "No, she doesn't know anything." But Christine, Janelle, and Meri leaned forward. They remembered the babysitter, the errand runner, the young woman who sat in on private sessions they were never invited to. She had always been there. "I worked alongside Robyn from 2017 to 2021, Belle said. I managed schedules, aided legal prep, and stored backup copies of communications. Some I was told to delete. I didn't." A sharp breath rippled through the room. Late 2020, Robyn opened an email from Kody. She read it and laughed. She told me, "We'll never have to deal with Christine again." I asked what she meant. She said, "This paper covers us legally. She can leave, with nothing." "Lies," Robyn shouted. The judge slammed the gavel. "Sit." Belle didn't blink. After that, we moved assets into the trust. I was told to build a spreadsheet of homes, cars, investments, only the ones Christine and Janelle knew about. She called it Phase 2. I asked what that meant. She said, "It's when we lock the future, with or without them." Her words weren't just knives, they were a detonator. "I copied everything," Belle continued, emails, statements, screenshots. "I knew it would come to this." Kody told me, "If the women fracture, pick one. Let the rest burn." He chose Robyn. Cole produced a flash drive. "Everything she said is on here, stamped and verified." The judge took it. Robyn tried to recover. She was fired. She has a grudge. Belle's mouth curved. "I quit. You begged me to stay because I was the only one who could keep your storm organized." Christine stood. "Is this connected to the kids' trust?" Belle nodded. "Yes." It was emptied 6 months after Christine left. Money flowed through Robyn's sister into a new vehicle, Silver Sky Holdings. The kicker? The beneficiary wasn't Robyn. It was Solomon. "They used their son as a financial shield," Janelle whispered. Belle met her eyes. "They weaponized everything. Love, money, loyalty, even the children." Robyn rocked in her seat, muttering, "You're wrong." But no one was listening. For the first time, an insider confirmed every suspicion, and then some. "Kody always had a backup," Belle added. He called it Plan Z, but there was another, scribbled in a red notebook hidden behind a false wall at the Sedona cabin. "I saw it once before he moved it." Cole stepped forward. "We have pre-fire photos. There was a dummy panel. Burn marks show." It was forced open the night of the fire. The judge's brow lifted. "Tampering with evidence?" Cole nodded. "Yes, and he backed it up first." "Then present it," the judge said, "and call the feds. We may be looking at obstruction." Robyn sprang up, fists clenched. "You can't." "He was protecting us. He loved us." Christine rose, voice blazing. "He loved control. He loved obedience. He did not love us." Meri, low, and spent. He didn't even love himself. The room sagged under the weight of truth. Belle stepped down. I'm not a hero. I just couldn't sleep knowing and doing nothing. Cole nodded, grateful and grim. The doors opened again. Another courier, a handwritten note. The judge read 2 lines and went cold. Everyone stay seated. We now have an active threat. If you continue, there will be consequences. Dismiss all charges and end the inquiry, or something besides a cabin burns. Christine gasped. Janelle shot up. Meri paled, but Belle said, not a threat, a promise. And not the first. The judge handed the letter to Cole. Forensics now. Lock down the building. No one leaves until we track the sender. Robyn whimpered. He wouldn't hurt anyone. No one believed her. Not anymore. Agents sealed the exits. The yai. Judge's voice iced over. We are now in emergency session. Federal protection is in place. And Robyn Brown, she paused. You are officially under investigation for conspiracy to defraud, destruction of evidence, and accessory to organized evasion. Gasps broke across the gallery. Cole's phone buzzed. The girl knows. He showed Belle. Her eyes widened. It's starting. 2 blocks away, a shaved head behind mirrored sunglasses spoke into a phone. She talked. Initiate Omega. Before dawn, marshals ringed the courthouse. SUVs idled in side streets. Radios crackled with the urgency of more than money. This was prevention, of harm, of silence. The judge entered under armed escort, black robe now closer to armor. Christine sat beside Janelle, faces forward, jaws set. Meri clutched the burner the agents had given her, her real phone powered off. Robyn came last, flanked by U.S. Marshals, eyes hollow, cheeks streaked with tears. Even now she wore a silver chain engraved with her children's names, and hidden in the locket, a micro SD. The judge brought order, because of threats and forensic findings. This session is sealed, recorded, federally monitored. We'll examine evidence recovered from the Sedona fire, specifically the fake panel and its contents. Cole stood with a Homeland Security analyst. We found a charred lockbox behind a removed wall. Inside, a heat-proof pouch with journals, passwords, contracts, and a single encrypted thumb drive. He plugged it in. A directory appeared. Trust, a mega master. Subfolders, LLC pass, Janelle, Christine, Meri, payout projections, and one labeled Rob Deflect. The judge leaned forward. Play the first audio. Kody's voice spilled out. Quiet, measured, terrifyingly controlled. If you're hearing this, someone broke, probably Christine. Doesn't matter. Omega starts at breach. Move assets. Robyn has the code. She knows. Get the kids safe. Make Meri talk first. If she does, we stall. If Christine testifies, isolate Janelle. If Janelle moves, drain the LLC. No trace. No apologies. Just go. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. The judge turned. Mrs. Brown, do you have the access key referenced here? Silence. Mrs. Brown, do you or do you not have access to accounts under trust? A0 Mega Master. Robyn's. Lips trembled. I don't know anymore. Christine stood. She does. The locket. He gave it to her the day I left. Marshals stepped in. Robyn stepped back, clutching the chain. No, just pictures, my children. But when they opened the locket, a micro SD dropped into a waiting palm. Chain of custody begins now, bagged and sealed. Robyn collapsed, crying. I didn't know what was on it. I didn't know it would get this far. I thought he was protecting us. The judge's voice went to steel. You weren't protecting a family, you were protecting the money. And you knew where the key was. The card decrypted quickly. Backups, message histories, voice memos from Kody and from Robyn. One recording played, Robyn's voice shaking. Kody, I can't lie on the stand. I'll break. They'll take the children. Kody's reply, they won't. You're the legal wife. They'll side with you. The others are spiritual remnants. Act like a victim. Cry. It always works. Christine gripped the table. Janelle stared at nothing. Meri didn't move. This wasn't betrayal anymore. It was the erasure of memory itself. The final folder read, Exit Ops, Travel Routes, Border Steps, a non-U.S. passport photo with the alias David Luntz. That's him, Cole said. The same name tied to overseas accounts in Belize, then Honduras. He's likely already in Central America. The judge rose. We are moving to federal warrants. Kody Brown is charged as a fugitive in an ongoing financial conspiracy. Robyn Brown, she turned, eyes like blades. You are formally indicted for conspiracy, suppression of evidence, and aiding the flight of a fugitive, Judge Harmon declared. Robyn shrieked, clawing at the table. No, please, I didn't flee. I stayed, I cooperated, I told the truth. Christine rose, her voice sharp as a blade. You spoke your truth, Robyn. The one that kept you rich and safe while the rest of us were discarded like garbage. The judge's tone never wavered. You will be remanded into custody pending trial. Your children will be placed in emergency guardianship under child services until further review. Robyn screamed, collapsing against the marshals. No, not my babies. Please don't punish them for his sins. Judge Harmon didn't blink. Then perhaps you should have considered their futures before helping him bankrupt 3 households. Her screams echoed down the hall as she was dragged away, her empire shattered in an instant. But it wasn't over. Cole Mercer stood, holding one final sheet. Your Honor, we've uncovered another note in Kody's handwriting. It's titled, Final Leverage. It refers to another woman, absent from records, absent from testimony, but possibly tied to him, and possibly with a child. Gasps rippled. Christine's chest heaved. You're lying. Janelle's hand covered her mouth. Meri whispered, No, he didn't. Cole's eyes darkened. Her name is Lena Callister, a former housekeeper. From the Browns' Las Vegas years, she disappeared in 2014. Kody told you she married and moved away. That was the lie. In truth, she filed a restraining order that same year, then vanished. The judge frowned. Where is she now? Cole hesitated. We don't know, but someone recently tried to breach her sealed file, using an IP traced to one of Kody's shell companies. The wives sat frozen. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a second life Kody had buried beneath the first. The judge exhaled slowly. Until Lena is found, this case remains open. There may be more victims, more heirs, more secrets. Christine's tears slipped silently. How many lives did he destroy just to build his twisted empire? Meri's voice was a whisper. It was never love. It was always legacy. Just then, a courier arrived with a sealed envelope. Inside, a USB and a note. You want answers? Watch me. Agents scanned it clean. Christine stepped forward. Play it. Now, before he strikes again. The video filled the courtroom. Kody Brown, unshaven, hair pulled back, eyes feverish. By now, you've made your choice, he sneered. That's fine, but don't fool yourselves. I didn't run because I was guilty. I ran because I knew what you'd become. Traitors, backstabbers, tools. I gave you everything, and you spit on it. He leaned into the lens, lips curling into a grin. You think you've uncovered secrets? I planted them. I left them for you to find. Because I'm not done yet, and neither is she. He laughed, a hollow, cutting sound. See you in court. The screen went black. It wasn't shock that froze the room this time. It was dread. Kody wasn't fleeing justice. He was orchestrating it, manipulating it, and someone out there was still helping him. The courthouse no longer felt like a place of law. It felt like a war room. Since Robyn's arrest, since the encrypted trust files spilled open like wounds, whispers had already leaked. Kody Brown wasn't just a polygamist patriarch anymore. He was a federal fugitive, a strategist, a ghost building something larger than family. Judge Harmon entered without her robe, earpiece clipped, black blazer armored with resolve. We have a breach, she announced. U.S. Marshals confirm an internal leak. Someone inside this very building is transmitting tips to Kody's encrypted line. Gasps rang out. Christine gripped her seat. Janelle's breath quickened. Meri didn't flinch. Cole stepped forward, holding a file marked Echo Lack Priority. We traced the breach to a burner phone inside the courthouse. Only 5 were active in the restricted wing at that time. 4 belonged to staff. The 5th, his voice faltered, belongs to someone in this room. The judge nodded grimly. Bring her in. The side door opened. A young woman stepped through, fidgeting in a baggy hoodie, cap low. Christine leaned forward, squinting. Janelle gasped. Is that? Cole cut in. Aurora Sullivan, Robyn's niece, the real one, the one who hired me, the one who's been playing both sides. The room went silent. From her holding cell, Robyn's gasp carried faintly. Aurora lifted her head. Her voice shook but held firm. I was the tip caller, but I wasn't sending messages to Kody. I was sending them about him, to the DOJ. The last one was about Lena. Christine's breath caught. A ghost had finally returned. Aurora pulled a flash drive from her pocket. Lena left this in a Bible in the guest room. I was too scared to touch it then, but now I had to. The video rolled. Lena appeared on screen, nervous, seated on a small bed. If you're watching this, I'm gone. But my baby is real. Kody is the father. He gave me money to disappear. Said if I came back, I'd regret it. If this is ever found, protect my son. Christine's pulse thundered. Another child. Cole read the attached letter, receipts, ultrasound payments, hospital records under aliases. Every line pointed to one fact. Kody hid a child, with help. The final page was a map. Colorado. A circle. River's Edge Middle School. Aurora whispered. She goes by Dana now. Her son is Caleb. The judge barked orders. Agents to River's Edge, quietly. Aurora's tears finally fell. I tried sooner. I was scared, but I couldn't let him win. Meri's voice softened. You did what you could. You survived. But before anyone could exhale, a fax slid into the courtroom. No sender. The message, nice try. You're 2 steps behind. Dana already knows. And she isn't who you think. Wrong game. Christine's knees buckled. He's still here. He's watching us. Cole's face was grave. This isn't evasion, it's counterattack. The judge slammed the gavel. Effective immediately. All records sealed. This courtroom is under federal obstruction protocol. Aurora Sullivan, you are in protective custody. As for the rest, prepare. Tomorrow begins criminal prosecution. But the lights flickered. Static cut the screens, and Kody's face grinned once more. See you in session 10. The air grew heavier than before. Kody wasn't hiding. He was daring them to chase. He said Robyn would understand. He said Christine and Janelle were blind. He said Meri would fall in line. He made me believe I was the future, Lena whispered, choking back tears. I didn't know I was disposable until he stopped using my name. Cole leaned forward. Does he have another name? Lena nodded. David Luntz, that's on the hotel cards. And in Belize, he used Jacob Sampson. When everything fails, that's who he becomes. A ripple of shock swept the room. Kody wasn't hiding. He was evolving. He was preparing. There's a lockbox near a church in southern Utah, Lena continued. Cash, IDs, a burner phone. He said if he disappears, the legacy speaks without him. The judge ordered its immediate seizure, then asked the question no one dared say. Will he hurt anyone? Lena's eyes hardened. Yes, but not with bullets. With stories. He told me, if they kill my reputation, I'll kill their peace. Let them rot under the microscope. Janelle's voice dropped to a whisper. That's why the recordings are chopped. He's not killing us. He's making the world despise us. Christine stood, voice trembling. He turned our lives into programming. The judge fixed her gaze. Tomorrow we indict for fraud, abuse, manipulation, and we will widen scope if that lockbox proves a long-term scheme. A bailiff rushed in with a message. We found an unlocked phone in the basement, hotspot on. tied to internal camera feeds. It was broadcasting the courtroom. Every breath froze. Cole grabbed the device. No GPS, but a new text appeared. "Congratulations, you've upgraded me. Let's see if you survive what comes next." Christine's face went stone. Janelle tried to form words. Nothing came. Meri clutched her necklace like a rosary. Lena pulled her son close. The lights flickered. The front screen went black, then flashed a chessboard. Queens toppled, one king standing, and a mechanical voice. "Session 11 starts now. I'm not the only one watching." The chill that followed wasn't fear. It was recognition that the Kody Brown case had slipped beyond marriage and betrayal into something self-feeding and viral. The FBI occupied the hallways. Secret Service audited every terminal. Homeland Security tagged Kody a Tier 2 uncontained domestic manipulator with religious extremist overtones. Online, he'd become the last true patriarch. Followers multiplied as the courtroom morphed into a war room. Lena and her son vanished into a safe house. Aurora entered protective custody. Kody did not appear, but his shadow did. Dozens of slick, pre-scheduled clips rolled out from burner channels named Legacy of a Silenced Father, recutting Christine, Janelle, Meri, even Lena as unhinged, greedy conspirators. He was writing a real-time digital alibi. "For each fact we verify," Cole said, he releases a counter-story. The manhunt was now a race to see which narrative holds. Interpol flagged passport scans at a Belize crossing, alias Jacob Samuelson, then nothing. His supporters swarmed forums with coded slurs. C. Bashir Control, J. H. Judas, M. H. Mouthpiece, L. H. Liar. Christine's business inbox was breached. Janelle's bank flagged queries. A drone hovered over Meri's home. "This isn't hiding," a DOJ agent said flatly. "It's Counter-Strike." The judge locked down everything digital. No live feeds, no recorders, paper only. But the damage dug in. Then an alert. Failed facial recog at a Nicaraguan airstrip. A man resembling Kody tried to charter a flight to a private island off Roatan. Gone again. Cole slammed a folder. Always 2 steps ahead. "No," Meri said quietly, fingering the burner. "He's following a plan. Eden." Years ago, he joked about a last garden, jungle meets sea. I never believed him. Agents pulled Roatan records. There it was. A villa bought in 2019 under Samuel K. Dawson, powered by solar, ocean access only, financed through shells linked to Robyn's e-signature. "That's the fortress," Cole said. The judge, boots on the island, silent. "End this." Right then, a new Kody video rose like tide. Linen shirt, waves behind him, voice soft. "They say I'm running. I'm building. They call me manipulator. I taught truth. They call me fugitive. I walked away from liars and broken systems." He smiled. "If they want war, I'll show them peace stripped from a man." Christine slipped from the room, tears at the door. "He isn't escaping. He's rewiring our memories." Janelle touched her shoulder. "He's manufacturing legacies." Inside, the judge's voice turned steel. "Highest level federal warrant. Take him alive. Authorize immediate defense if he resists. One more thing. Letters from the Utah lockbox, one to each wife." Christine read, "You thought you could see through me. I let you look. You'll die never knowing the difference." Janelle's, "You were strongest. That's why I shattered you first." Meri's, "You were the last standing, but for what? Not love letters, tombstones. The worst wasn't a letter. It was a postcard at Lena's safe house mailbox. Your son knows the truth." Lena screamed. No prints, no cameras. The judge briefed the room. "We're facing a cyber manipulator running asset washing, psychological ops, and narrative tampering. This isn't a fugitive. This is a collapsing cult in real time." "What if he wins?" Christine asked. "Then history rewrites itself," Cole said softly, "and none of you survive it the same." That night, agents launched toward the Roatan villa under black sky and rough water. At 3:17 a.m., a new clip hit Kody's hidden channel. No title, just static, sea, the villa, the camera dropping, footsteps, a woman's calm voice. "They're here, right on time," like he said. Black screen, no feed from the island. By 7 a.m., the Garden broadcast hit 2 million views. Baitage conspiracy boards crowned it proof of persecution. Threads erupted. Wife army is lying. Government smothered the truth. Is Christine part of a setup? Why is media silent? In hours, witnesses became suspects. Christine trended as the Christine the cover-up. Janelle as Janelle the Judas. Even Lena's testimony was slowed, blurred, captioned to look staged. Kody hadn't vanished. He'd made the internet his mouth. Another video followed. They'll say I'm hiding, he murmured, waves behind him. I'm healing. They'll say, manipulation, I taught loyalty, no CTA, just atmosphere. This is no longer a man on the run, Christine whispered. This is a cult in daylight. And he's not the only voice, Cole added. Echoes are multiplying. The judge scanned a memo. 3 women in Utah, 1 in Idaho, 2 in Colorado, now call themselves the Covenant of the Garden, rallies and petitions for his exoneration. He militarized belief, Janelle said. Meri stared at the last frame. He always said if the world wouldn't listen to him, he'd find someone louder. She stood. We're hearing her now. Who? The judge asked. The woman in the villa clip. Not Robyn, not Lena, someone else. A shadow queen, a voice that froze us with one sentence. Under escort, Lena returned to identify the voice. I heard her years ago, she said. Robyn brought her as a spiritual coach. Name was Alara. Kody called her the first spark. The judge's pen stopped. That alias is in the encrypted files. Backup contact, neither legal nor financial. Failsafe. She's alive, Cole said. Operational. Maybe in charge. In Aurora's bunker, the burner buzzed. A single text. He taught me everything. Now I will finish the garden. Lena's breath hitched. It's her. The judge ordered a full sweep of Roatan. No drones, no more peeking. Go in and clamp comms. Cut the signal if she's hijacked the message. Too late. Within 2 hours, the first spark trended worldwide. White-clad, faceless clips citing scripture and splicing old Kody interviews with reframed sound bites from Meri and Christine. They tried to bury the patriarch. We grow in soil. The wives poisoned the legacy. We purify it. No room for weeds. This wasn't a trial. It was an ideological battlefield. The wives weren't testifying. They were fighting for the right to even exist inside the story. Cole pulled Christine and Janelle aside. There's more. He slid a photo from the burned lockbox. Alara standing with Robyn, cradling an infant, Kody blurred in the background. No smile, just watching. We believe she bore his child too, Cole said. She isn't a follower, she's legacy. The judge responded by widening warrants internationally, cracking open tax shelters, religious waivers, offshore vaults. Someone was still propping him up. In her safe house, Meri stared at her letter. Last one standing, but for what? She opened a laptop and began to write. If he wants a war of stories, she whispered, he'll have it. Christine posted a raw video. No edits, just tears. He didn't break me. He only proved I was never beside him, only beneath him. Janelle went live. For every woman playing good wife for peace, no more. We weren't villains. We were the foundation. The world began to listen again. Slowly, truly, truly. Then the floor shifted. At 3 a.m., a new video surfaced. Security cam at the Roatan Villa, time-stamped live. A tall figure in white, masked, stepped inside, leaned into the lens, mouthed, Session 13 belongs to me. Cut. No court filings. No clues. Only a woman in a frayed blue coat arriving at the courthouse at 6:41 a.m., with a birth certificate, DNA printout, and an old polygamist wedding photo no one had ever seen. Her name wasn't on any witness list. Her face was new to everyone. Christine, Janelle, Meri, Lena. Still, Judge Harmon halted mid-sentence. Bring her forward. Say your name. Savannah Eliza, she said, voice guarded, pain woven through each syllable. Savannah Eliza Brown. Gasps cracked the room. Christine staggered. Janelle shot to her feet, the name vibrating through bone. Savannah? Not your Savannah, the woman answered gently. That's the name Kody gave me. I'm the one you never met. Cole scanned her documents. We need confirmation. You already have it, she said. You just don't know which drawer to open. She placed a faded photo on the desk. Kody, decades younger, holding a baby beside a solemn woman with brown hair. Naomi, Savannah said. My mother. She died in 2010 of ovarian cancer. He never visited, never paid. But he left this, sealed for Christine or Janelle if I ever vanish. The judge tore it open, read, and passed it to Christine, hands shaking. If you're reading this, my time is over and Kody has won again. You don't know me. He arranged that. We were married in a spiritual ceremony in 2002 outside the church. He said the family could never know. If you learned the truth, it would unravel everything. Christine stared at Savannah. You're my sister wife's daughter. Savannah nodded. I've watched you all my life. You were the voice I trusted more than my own. Mom said if I came forward, I had to wait until everything broke. That day is now. Why now? Janelle asked. Because the first spark was my mother's best friend, Savannah said softly. And she was there when I was born. Cole typed fast. That matches the network. Naomi and Alara weren't just followers, they were founders. Savannah slid across a flash drive. Mom's diary. Every vow, every plan, and the thing he called reclamation protocol. The judge frowned. We haven't heard that term. It wasn't legal or financial, Savannah said. It was spiritual. Cole scanned the entries. Dates and names mapping a doctrine of control. If any wife or child strays, invoke reclamation, psychological, financial, relational, and if necessary, divine force. Janelle flinched. He weaponized faith. He called it discipline. It was domination. He thought we were a garden, Savannah added. If a vine grew wild, you cut it. Realization washed over the room. This wasn't money laundering with religion on. The edges. It was a religion engineered to hide the crimes. The journal metadata checked out. 20 years of the missing decade when Kody cleaned his public story. Savannah took a breath. There's more. A final voicemail before Mom died. The speakers crackled. Naomi, I can't keep this. I tried to fit you into the narrative, but they'll never accept you. Christine's asking too many questions. Janelle's stubborn. Meri's fading. Robyn will be loyal. But you're real. That's the problem. You remind me of what hurts. I can't look at you. I can't look at her. I'm sorry. Disappear. Meri closed her eyes. Christine stifled a sob. Janelle clutched the bench. Where have you been? The judge asked. Waiting, Savannah said. Mom told me everything would fall apart, and I had to be the one who remembered without rage. You were his wives. She was his mirror. Cole lifted another file from the drive. Alara meeting log, 2013. Naomi, Alara, Kody, 2 unnamed women. One line glowed. The first spark is planted when the wives turn on each other. When the war begins, she carries the message, not of submission, but replacement. Christine froze. She wasn't a fan. She was succession. The judge sagged back. Not a breakup. A religious model of succession behind a marital collapse. The streets outside filled with protesters. The garden faithful lifting signs. Security doubled. The wives were now targets. A messenger left a plain box with a twisted tree seal. Inside, a single flower and a note. She's arrived. The vine has bloomed. Savannah was the seed. The heir is still hidden. Everyone stared at Savannah. There's no one else, she whispered. Mom never had another. Cole lifted the box and found a hospital bracelet beneath the paper. Newborn, different mother, same father, same blood type, same year. Another child, Christine murmured. Another wife, Janelle breathed. Another war, Meri whispered. Savannah reeled. She lied to me. The judge sealed the courtroom. Cole checked the new file. If real, Kody didn't just plant a garden. He bred a bloodline waiting to rise. By morning, the air wasn't charged. It was toxic. Every glance carried weight. Savannah, the lost daughter, had triggered a slow, terrible collapse. And now, with another unnamed child in play, the room felt like a time bomb. Meri said nothing. Christine hadn't slept. Janelle stared through her water bottle. Savannah sat cross-legged at the back, hands on her knees, like a witness to her own unraveling. Judge Harmon's tone was iron. We are now in criminal trial. Today determines who is sentenced and who walks. This isn't about Kody anymore. It's about who helped construct the garden. Cole faced the screen. In 72 hours, DOJ froze. 14 offshore accounts traced over 500 wires to religious consulting fronts and identified 6 women designated as spiritual seed carriers. Wives off the books promised inheritance. Names filled the wall: Naomi, Robyn, Alara, a missing Judith, last seen 2017. 2 unknowns, AH and LJ Christine shot up. LJ Leah Jenkins. Kody said she was a cousin at one of our gatherings. She held Solomon like he was hers. Janelle's eyes narrowed. Judith, she was at Robyn's rehearsal. Then she vanished. The judge leaned forward. And you said nothing? Christine's voice cracked. We were taught not to ask. Curiosity breeds rebellion. Rebellion kills families. It wasn't silence. It was obedience disguised as loyalty. Cole continued. These women were compartmentalized. Children kept in the dark. Quiet payouts over years. In exchange, a place in phase 2 of Kody's spiritual heritage. Meri lurched to her feet. There was a phase 2. I saw the folder, years ago. He said never open it. It was for those who suffered. Why didn't you tell anyone? Christine demanded. Because I didn't want to know, Meri confessed. If I knew, I couldn't pretend he'd choose me again. The judge raised a hand. Enough. This has passed pain. It's criminal withholding. Mrs. Brown, Meri, you're now a complicit party under review. The room split open. Christine snapped. You watched him erase our kids' futures. Janelle stood. You stood by him while Lena ran for her life. Meri broke. I loved him. That was my sin, being his decoy. From the back, Savannah's voice cut clear. You weren't the decoy. You were the cover story. Silence curdled into anger. Cole clicked. To one more file from Robyn's cloud. A memo to Meri, anchor wife, charged with keeping appearances while the real foundation was built underneath. Christine gasped. He used you to hold the lights while he built the exit. Meri covered her mouth. I thought I was holding us together. Janelle exploded. You held the door while he escaped. The gavel hammered. Control yourselves or I hold you all in contempt. The courtroom was a crime scene and the victim was still bleeding. Cole stepped to the bench with a final folder. From the Roatan Villa, locked drawer, birth certificate. No mother listed. Father, Kody Brown, 2016. A second secret child, alive. Savannah's voice broke. He never told me I had a sibling. Christine went pale. That was the year he stopped visiting Truly. Janelle whispered. It's when he funneled money into pathways. The judge stood. Find this child now. Under his structure. They may be the sole legal heir. Meri sagged. He always threatened to start over if we wouldn't listen. I didn't know he meant it. A man rose in the gallery, early 30s, long coat, sunglasses. Security tensed until he flashed a badge. My name is Logan Shepard, he said. I was adopted in 2016. My birth mother vanished. Do you have evidence? The judge asked. He held up a packet. DNA, hospital records. A letter from a safety deposit box opened last week, from my mother, a midwife. She says my father was Kody Brown. Savannah stared, tears shining. Christine's voice shook. What does the letter say? Logan unfolded it. If you're reading this, they're all gone. You're the last light in the garden. Burn it if you must. But never forget, the spark lives in you. The room exhaled in shock. The spark wasn't only a person. It was a bloodline, a design, and now it had a name and a future. Cole turned to the bench. We have confirmation. He's the heir, the final node. Under Kody's structure, every trust, every shell, Every dollar might flow to him. Christine fell into her chair. Janelle stared, blank. Savannah laughed through tears. Then maybe we end it. Logan didn't smile. It isn't over. Why not? The judge demanded. Because there's one more folder and it's not Kody's, Logan said, holding up a drive. It's hers. The real architect, the teacher, the builder of the garden long before any of us understood. The screen lit with a single name, Alara Grace Mathers, and a subtitle, Mother of the Garden. The last session began without gavel, counsel, or prayer, just a name that pulled decades out of shadow. We are not seeking guilt anymore, Judge Harmon said. We are excavating truth. Cole held up the drive labeled Mother of the Garden. This contains the original structure, the beliefs, expansion model, funding lattice, all predating Kody. Scans spilled across the screen, journals, mind maps, recorded chants, and a manifesto. Vine theology, the female womb as the root of Vea. Divinity. The text read, "The garden must be planted in a wound. A woman bleeds to seed it. A man thinks he governs. He only tends what she roots." The room reeled. This wasn't a man's madness. It was a woman's blueprint. Kody wasn't a mastermind. He was a mouthpiece, the first spark, not the fire. The women had been pawns in Alara's system, either builders or betrayers. The judge's hand shook. Find her. Now. Before the tasking reached the hall, every device in the room buzzed. One file appeared everywhere at once. The garden has been judged. Alara, live. Older, lined, eyes burning clear. "You sought me," she said. "I never left. I watched. I grew. They named Kody Prophet. He was the echo. I am the voice." The feed cut to clandestine rituals, Kody and Robyn kneeling at Alara's feet, contracts inked by candlelight. Then Alara speaking to Naomi, then a zoom on Meri shaking Alara's hand in a motel lot. "You were always the key," Alara murmured. "You kept the garden tidy while we planted beneath." Meri shattered. "I didn't know. I thought I was saving a family, not building a machine." Christine stepped forward. "We were manipulated by a woman who said she was freeing us." The screen snapped black. A single line hung in the air. "Freedom doesn't grow from silence. It grows in rebellion." Judge Harmon rose. "Effective immediately, I am freezing every garden asset worldwide, issuing international warrants for Alara Grace Mathers, and ordering dissolution of all entities under her theological umbrella." Logan lifted another envelope. "One more thing. The original will." Cole spun. Kody's will. Before the church, before the show. 1995. Locker. Alias. It leaves nothing to the wives or children. Everything. Everything to Alara. The room shattered like glass. The money, the properties, the accounts, all to the woman who wrote the doctrine that enslaved them. "Is it legal?" the judge whispered. "Signed, notarized, sealed." Christine screamed. "Then why did we bleed? For nothing." Logan faced her. "You bled to expose it. Now the world knows her name." Janelle nodded. "We don't reclaim the garden. We burn its roots." Savannah breathed. "Let it die in the light." Judgment fell like a hammer. "In the matter of the garden versus the United States," Judge Harmon declared, "the organization a religious front enterprise. Core architects would face sentencing for financial and emotional exploitation. All living wives were acquitted on criminal intent due to coercive manipulation. Kody Brown, presumed dead or in hiding, remained a fugitive. Alara became the focus of an international dragnet. Relief rippled through the room, then every screen pinged. A fresh file time-stamped 14 minutes earlier. Location unknown. Savannah tapped play. A child's whisper. "She isn't running. She's preparing. The garden isn't over. It's dormant." A red vine coiled around a globe. G2. The next generation announced itself with a logo and a promise. The war hadn't ended. It had evolved.